How does caffeine wake you up? Caffeine is a bitter-tasting chemical related to the nucleic acid bases adenine and guanine. Produced by a range of plants to deter herbivorous animals from consuming their leaves or seeds, the compound is somewhat ironically prized by us humans for its flavor, not to mention its effect as a stimulant. In fact, caffeine is the most widely used psychoactive substance around the globe, with as many as 4 in 5 adults consuming the compound in the form of a hot or cold beverage such as coffee, tea, or soda, often to stave off drowsiness. In simple terms, this stimulation occurs thanks to caffeine's similarity to a chemical we produce to slow down nerve firing. By interfering with that chemical's slowing effect on the brain, our neurons remain active where they'd otherwise be winding down, setting off a chain reaction that can promote a fight or flight response throughout the body. Why do you sometimes feel sleepy? Sleep involves a complex mix of biological functions that could have evolved long before animals even had brains. Yet for those that do have nervous systems, a critical part of winding down for the day is the gradual accumulation of a compound called adenosine. As our bodies work, this compound builds up in the brain's tissues, locking into receptors in the membranes of certain nerve cells and reducing their firing rate. Some of those nerves are linked with muscle function, resulting in that heavy, lethargic feeling as the hours grind on. There is also an effect of dilating blood vessels to ensure the brain still gets a good supply of oxygen. Other nerves are connected to circuits that manage moods, which helps explain why exhaustion isn't exactly a happy feeling. To clean out the fog of adenosine and feel recharged, we simply need to stop working, find somewhere quiet, and drift off to sleep. Once we wake, those receptors will be clear again and the nerves firing at full capacity, at least until they clog with adenosine once more. Caffeine lingers around those receptors, making it hard for adenosine to slide back in. Within 2 hours of having swallowed a cup of coffee, the concentration of caffeine will hit a peak in the brain, giving your mood a buzz and helping your muscles feel less heavy for a bit longer. It also constricts blood vessels in the brain. So why does caffeine make you feel not just awake, but energized? By allowing certain nerves in the brain to continue firing at a relatively rapid pace, we're in effect telling other circuits, like those linked with the pituitary gland, that something exciting is happening. It responds by releasing epinephrine, a hormone that generates responses we might need in times of stress or danger. Our heart beats a little faster, pupils dilate, blood is diverted to our muscles, and stored carbohydrates are released from the liver. How long does caffeine last? The effects of caffeine are measured by its half-life, which typically ranges from 4 to 6 hours. The half-life means the time that your body has metabolized, or processed through, half the caffeine you consumed. As a result, the 6-hour half-life of a caffeinated beverage you consume in the afternoon could keep you up at night. Some factors can slow or speed up the metabolism of caffeine. Nicotine use can reduce the half-life of caffeine by up to 50%, so frequent smokers process through caffeine much quicker, with a half-life as short as 2 hours. By contrast, pregnant women experience slower caffeine metabolism. It is recommended that those who are pregnant or breastfeeding should avoid coffee, or limit intake to 16 ounces or less per day, about 2 cups of coffee. During pregnancy, caffeine can be passed to the baby through the placenta. A trace amount of caffeine can also be found in breast milk. If you are pregnant or breastfeeding and concerned about your caffeine intake, talk to your healthcare provider about what steps you should take to ensure optimum health for you and your baby. How much caffeine is safe to drink? Since caffeine can be both beneficial and harmful depending on the dose, it is important to find a level of consumption that is healthy for you. The Food and Drug Administration (FDA) recommendation for safe daily caffeine consumption sits around 400 milligrams, or 4 to 5 cups of coffee per day. A large cup of coffee can have up to 470 milligrams of caffeine content, which is more than the daily recommended caffeine content. It is essential to read the fine print about what you're drinking. Since there can be a lot of variation in the way people respond to and metabolize caffeine, talk to your doctor if you are unsure if your caffeine consumption is recommended. This was today's video. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment and share. Subscribe the channel now to get such videos.